go down with Kerri and Nana. You ready for the show to begin?
Hey, let's go. Let's get it. It's almost showtime. Let's go. Let's get it. It's almost go time. Let's freaking go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 36 of the Bright Side Chronicles with host Kerri Lewis, and I'm missing my co-host Nana Agyemang, who is currently working a deal at work, which I absolutely love, and will be on the show as soon as he can get here. We are also waiting for an amazing guest to join, who is a cosplay photographer and a talented individual who I had the privilege of meeting at, I want to say New York Comic-Con, but don't quote me because I can't keep track of all of these different cons that Nana goes to. And until then, I am here having a conversation with you guys about the bright side of life, especially with little less than a week before Christmas to go. And I know that there is a lot of narratives around this time. A lot of people are struggling to achieve joy, to cultivate joy, which is the very reason Nana and I started this show in the first place, to encourage people to tap into really what brings them joy and to express themselves fully throughout the year. And part of the reason that Nana and I are very, very passionate about cultivating joy throughout the year is to navigate times such as these where it might feel a little bit more difficult or challenging, or you just don't know how to navigate the noise that is going around outside that we are being bombarded with. When you can tap into a sense of self, it really doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. What matters is that you have the ability to stay focused on your area of life, on what you can control. And ultimately, that is our superpower. So often we think that we need to, you going to come say hi? Yeah, come say hi. Nobody's on. We're saying hi. Say hi. Are you part of my joy? Yes, you are. Why? Because you remind me to be a kid. But anyway, so often we get locked into external narratives and we feel like we're powerless to navigate the environment that we're experiencing, situations around us. But the reality is, guys, is when you can tap into what brings you joy, when you can tap into what feeds your soul outside of the good opinion of anybody else, just like little kids who aren't focused on trying to look good for other people, prove a point, be right, be wrong. They're simply living in the moment. Then in doing so, you're actually able to navigate life joyfully despite what's going on around us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do we have fun?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We have fun. Why?
Yeah.
Because do we have an imagination?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. What do you do with your imagination besides eating a lemon?
Started eating lemon.
Yeah, is it sour?
No.
No, it's not sour. I think it would be sour. I'm drinking hot chocolate, which brings me joy. No, it's hot. You'll get boo-boos. You can look.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's hot.
I like to blow it.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to let it cool down by the air.
Okay.
Oh, look at our friend Bonnie says hi. Can you say hi, Bonnie? Okay, so anyway, back to, what it is I'm trying to convey here today. Recently, I was speaking with an individual who was really upset about the news and a lot of the information being presented to us. And this is really going to challenge the foundation of what a lot of people think. But it's something I have inherently done the work on myself and have concluded to be true through experience. And what I mean by that is not from books, not from listening to other people tell me, but rather practicing the technique and then gaining experience, which has made this truth true for me. And what that is we create our reality through our internal landscape. So if I'm focused on all of these negative narratives outside, it is more likely that I'm going to experience more negativity. But if I am focused on what brings me joy, what keeps me in a state of peace, and what fills my cup, despite the good opinion of anybody else, then I attract more joy to myself. And in fact, I've gotten so good at it that if I think about something, it generally happens. Nan and I were at his Christmas party a couple weeks ago, and we both said we are definitely going to manifest an iPhone for me. I want an iPhone 17. And sure enough, of all the people at the Heart Christmas party, I got the iPhone 17. But it's not just that one event, guys. It's events over and over and over. But it is choosing to focus on you and what feels good for you. You're eating a lemon. You like a lemon. I don't want to eat a lemon. I focus on drinking hot chocolate because that feels good for me. But that's the thing is we have been conditioned to subscribe to the social constructs, and we believe that that is the right thing to do. But the reality is there is no right or wrong, and there is no good or bad. There's what feels good for you. And when you do what feels good for you, then you attract things that feel good for you. Now, there's a caveat, right? Because there are universal laws that you cannot escape, one of them being cause and effect. So if hurting Aziel felt good for me, well, sure, one could say that's good, but because I sent out negative energy, that has to come back to me. But if giving him a squeeze feels good for me and it feels good for you, right? Then I am cultivating more moments of that. And that's how I'm able to navigate the narratives that are going on outside. Additionally, since I don't have Nan here and my guest has not yet arrived, there's a lot of fear-based narrative out there. And people think that the same thinking that has gotten us into this situation is going to get us out, and it's not. That's a definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again. And if you really look at society, and I've studied history, everything's cyclic. We continue to watch the evolution of societies, cultures, and then we watch the destruction of them, in part because we haven't changed our conscious thinking. We haven't changed the way in which we work internally. If and when, not even if, because I'm connected globally with people who are doing this, as we work on ourselves and cultivate peace, we experience peace externally. And as a result, the world will naturally be peaceful. We don't have to do anything. People will naturally cultivate more peace because we're attracting that energy to us, which is why they always say, if you want to change the world, change yourself. And that is such a true statement. And part of changing yourself is figuring out what brings you joy, right? Everybody knows, especially if you're watching this on Nana's feed, Nana loves cosplay. He was literally just telling me how excited he is to go see the SpongeBob movie dressed up as SpongeBob on Sunday. That holds zero appeal for me, people. I have no desire to, one, go see a SpongeBob movie, two, dress up as a cosplay character. And yet I honor that brings him joy. And I love that about him. He knows that I like to meditate, and I'm happy to go off to a singing bowl retreat or get lost in the woods. Nana doesn't like bugs. He doesn't like getting lost in the woods. And I don't expect him to do those things with me. I honor that doesn't feel good for him. And because we honor each other and what feels good for each other individually and support each other in what brings us joy, we collectively come together and experience so much more joy. What's up, bud? Is that a sticker? Whoa, go show mommy. you should go show mommy a sticker. And that's the thing, is I don't know what's going to bring you joy. Is it painting? Is it singing? Is it dancing? Is it getting lost in the woods? Is it roller skating? It's endless possibilities out there, but so often we as adults get locked up into this belief that because we are adults, we need to adult. And that couldn't be further than the truth. We're actually supposed to, and it's written in scriptures across the globe, because I studied theology, childlike wonder. We're meant to be in wonder. We're meant to be in awe. We so often think that in our adultness that we are meant to go to work, provide for our family, go to sleep, and do it all over again. And in doing that, we get stuck in this stale, uneventful, unfulfilling life, and then wonder why we're numbing out on our phone. We're numbing out with chemicals. We're taking mental health medication so that way we can feel better, and doing all these things. Speaking of talking about the bright side, guys, we're part of nature. We are not separate from the earth. And I was just having this conversation with this amazing individual earlier today who's like, yeah, around this time I find myself getting, depressed, and it's seasonal affective disorder. There's a reason why the trees lose their leaves, why the grass stops growing, why bears hibernate. We as humans were meant to be still, be calmer, and yet we're so conditioned, hi baby, to believe.
Hey,
One sec, I just got to go on my tangent, and then you can jump in.
you
We're
good? You good?
we are meant to believe that there's something wrong with us if we're more sedentary, or if we're calmer, or if we don't want to do things during the winter months. But the reality is all we're doing is going in alignment with nature, which is what we're meant to do in the first place. And so when we honor the rhythms of nature, right, for every season, right, then we can honestly empower ourselves rather than judge ourselves for not being energetic. And in doing so, we are then able to cultivate more joy, because we're not assuming we need to be doing something or being somebody or feeling some type of way that we're not in that moment. Hi,
Well,
babes.
first and foremost, what up, babe?
How are you?
Yo, I am good. I am just leaving work right now. As you can tell, we are in the car. And
Work.
oh man, today was
Wednesday.
it was just like long. It was long because like there was a lot of things I want to accomplish, which I did get a good amount of it, but there's still some carryover because sometimes things don't go according to plan, i.e., right now. But it's just one of those things where like everything worked how it was supposed to fold. Because like even so, perfect example, my friend Kyle and his mom just came in, and their situation was tough because this is the negative equity situation. And I promise you, I'm not driving. And well, I'm gonna park here so I can just not be like driving and
Okay, good.
be out here.
Because I
Oh
actually,
shoot! Look at the little
I
guy.
want to grab that Nana booty when I next see you.
Sister,
What?
let's
Wait,
this that you.
Show Nana what you're eating.
Let me take it.
He's eating a lemon.
a lemon?
Dino trucks on Mommy's TV.
Yeah, the little guy, bro.
Yeah, you can eat it in Mommy's room
Huh?
The way he sucks his
All
teeth
the
at
time.
you. He said,
all the time.
that's what your mama does.
Yo.
Anastasia, if you're watching, we know. I noticed.
Hey, yo. Nah. But no, it was really nice. It was awesome because everything, like, it was really digging deep for this one. And I gotta give credit to Yahira because like I was like, damn, like I want to help out, but I don't know what to do to help out. And we went and like just dug, and just out of nowhere, we like it was funny because Yahira had brought it up too. But then I was also thinking, I'm like, maybe like a BZ4X, which is an all electric vehicle, and it had a rebate on it. but then the year I found more money because I had more rebates than I did before. So I'm like, maybe that might be the car. And lo and behold, that is exactly what we needed to get it approved and to help out the situation. Is just I'm grateful for it because I feel like I always fall into this place. Like Liddy, when she called in yesterday, I was speechless because I'm like, I don't know how to help out because like there's so much going on with this transaction that it was just like wild. But like leaving here, it's damn near 7:18. I was going to go to the gym, but I'm just not. I'm like depleted. So
But
I
that's
am.
okay. You'll have energy for Flex Friday.
Yeah, you're right.
But
You're
you know
right. You're
what?
right.
I think it goes to the point, and you said, right, it's earlier today I was talking to an individual and their cat was perched up on this little space on their chair, and this
Yeah.
individual was like, I don't understand, it's not comfortable. And I was like, how do we know? We don't know if it's comfortable.
Mm,
You know, as you texted me and said, I'm running late, and then our guest didn't show up, I could have easily made an assumption and said that things aren't working out. But
mm-hmm.
that, I think, creates this illusion that one, we have control and we really don't. But also, even
Correct.
further than that, everything is always unfolding in the greatest good. We're just too small to know. And the fact
Correct.
that you just stayed the course, you were able to help these individuals. You didn't have all the information, but at the
Oh
end of the
man.
day, it was able to work itself out.
Well, there was so much going on with like a lot of moving parts. Like there's a car that's in Florida that's coming up here, and then like dealing with trade value and like a lot of like just moving parts. But somehow, some way, it just shows like I got to work, and I don't even work on Thursdays like normally, but today was to get a car ready, and then it became like I got in front of one of my friends actually, Mel, who used to work out at the gym with us. She just showed up out of nowhere, her and her man's, because she might have totaled her car, and so she was looking at like maybe looking at a car. So she drove a 4Runner, and then who else came in? There was somebody else that came in later on. But I had like literally like five people that I just knew that just came off the rip, and they're like, "Yo, are you here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here, but I'm technically not normally here." And the game plan was I was supposed to leave at 4 o'clock because I was like, "Oh, let me go to the gym at 4 o'clock." Yeah, I thought I was gonna go to the gym. That didn't happen. But it's cool. It's just like what I'm looking at it is like this is probably rest for my body, which is good because I'll be refreshed. Like you said for Flex Friday tomorrow, so I'll actually get in a really good uh, workout for sure. But you know, just trying to just take it one moment at a time. Go
Well,
ahead.
so right before you came on, I was sharing with the listening audience one, the
Yeah.
reason we started the Bright Side Chronicles, which is to
Mm-hmm.
really encourage people fostering joy in their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I do want to shout out my next door neighbor, Eric. So the least assuming person, right? I've known him for a couple of years, the sweetest guy. He's actually the one responsible for a lot of Nana's and my photo shoots.
The
He's a
Christmas shoots.
but last week he texted Nana and I, and he said to me, I wore a cape to work, and
Mm.
my coworkers were asking me what was wrong with me. And I was so thrilled. Nana and I were both so thrilled because he showed up and did something that felt right for him. And
Yeah.
that's the whole point of this show, is encouraging people. We're 8 billion people, and we so often prevent ourselves from experiencing joy because we're afraid that we're going to be judged or misunderstood or rejected. And
Yeah.
the show is meant to highlight that it is in your unique expression of yourself. That's your superpower. And that is where you actually foster positivity and embody that power that gives other people permission to chase what brings them joy.
Yeah, I mean, I just love that Eric wore the cape. Like, I would dead ass just do that at my job, but like that's like a Halloween type of thing. But shout out to him for that because like that just shows that he's getting into a place that he's not like, oh my gosh, this is not dork. This is I'm too cool to not do this. You know what I mean? That's the self expression. Like this Saturday, we're wearing ugly sweaters. I don't have an ugly sweater. Let's be honest. Like
Yes, you
I don't.
do. Yes,
Which
you
ugly sweaters do I got?
do. You have ugly sweaters.
Which ugly sweater?
If you don't know, then you and me have different tastes, which is okay because your sweaters.
Dang.
Like, here's the deal. Nana has some of the squarest clothes in his thing. Like, he has
Cap.
some polo shirts.
Cap.
Yes.
Polo shirt are not square.
Yes, they are, babe. Yes.
They are not. If you rock it well, they're not square. Like
Baby, you
I'm not
don't
wearing.
rock it
not
well.
wearing a quarter
And
zip
I
and
love
whatever
you,
and drinking matcha tea or whatever. Like, hey, yo.
Listen, I know there are a lot of people who will love that look on you, and kudos to them.
Nah.
I'd rather you naked anyway, so I don't care.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Okay, that just went south real quick.
No.
Babe,
You're good. You're good.
I was also talking about how a lot of people get caught up by external noise, the news, all of the situations that are constantly unfolding.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with Yanko last week because I got an email saying now more than ever. And I was laughing. I'm like, that's just such a catchy catchphrase. But we're just rinsing, repeating, and recycling the same stuff over and over. And it's really when we do something differently for ourselves that we start to experience change. But if you're looking for external circumstances to change, it's not going to happen. It's your responsibility to look at yourself, your behaviors, what's working for you. Are you living in joy, or are you just existing? Are you in judgment of others, or are you getting curious about what brings you happiness outside of what society has told you is supposed to bring you happiness? And when you do that, that's when you're really able to start to see a huge shift in how you experience life.
Well, going back to the point is like, even talking about the external noise, like somebody reached out to me today and was like something about, oh, this happened at like I don't know, some world news stuff, and I was like, truthfully, I don't know what goes on in the world this day and age, and it's not that I'm not aware of it. It's just that I can't feed into the external like fear mongering aspect of what the news portrays. So I told him, I said, look, like you can live a better life by just focusing on what you can control as in yourself and not worrying about the external stuff that's going on around you. And they're like, well, what do you mean by that? And I was like, you can be aware of what's going on, but also not feed into it. That's the other thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can know that, oh my gosh, like something doesn't happen on the news, but then I don't look at it as like, damn, it's the end all be all of life. Like, I have a life to still live. Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing, is I don't let that encompass the whole thing that I do in life of just living authentic to myself, you know? But
well, it's interesting you say that, because Julia was given an exercise in her English assignment and she had to read world news. And we were having a conversation because, you know, she had mentioned how she felt about the situation. And I said to her, I was like, you know, I don't agree with the fact that you're being told that you need to write assignments about news. And she and I had a healthy conversation about what was going on and her perspective versus mine. It's not that I don't know about the things, but I don't need to go down the rabbit hole of getting all the information about everything that transpired and stuff. And that's what people do. They don't realize they allow themselves to get caught up in that negativity, because we hear this and then we start cycling through news stations, getting every bit of information. And then we wonder why we live in a fear-based reality, or where so many people struggle with anxiety. Well, you're feeding yourself negative narratives unintentionally, but you are.
Yeah. I mean, to switch the pace too, like I always try to just understand that it's news is not always the healthiest way to go about it, because there's normally what 90% not so nice things on there, and then the 10% is like a short little clip of like 5 seconds, like, oh, this person see the cat out of the tree or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that happened, like that's it. And that's all y'all got, and then everything else is more like just a shock value, I guess you could say. But you know what I mean, another cool thing, like when you talk about like changing the perspective, was yesterday I was at a career fair type of thing. It's like, well, a day with the experts, and we were talking about just basically like what we do in our industry, and you know how to basically elaborate them getting jobs in the working field, like younger adolescents, juniors of high school to seniors. And it was beautiful because I got to really just speak my truth on what I do for work wise, which is obviously help people buy cars. And it changed the narrative because we were talking about reputation came up. And it was like, well, how do you represent your organization? And I'm like, well, if I have a hard sweater on or whatever it is, I'm at a grocery store, I'm technically representing the organization subconsciously because I just happen to have the gear on. You know what I mean? So somebody sees it like, oh, this person works that hard. And, thus that brings me more traffic just by just wearing that. But it's like, how do you put your reputation with your job as well as yourself? And I'm like, I am my own like company, right? So I control how much traffic I bring to the dealership. If somebody asks for me, that's traffic that I'm controlling. If somebody walks through the door, yeah, that's the dealership traffic because they probably saw it online or they got referred to. But it really comes out to the reputation that you exude. And that was one of the questions that I was like, oh, this is actually a unique conversation to be had. And then people working in like National Grid and, certain HR companies. It was actually really, really like a great conversation,
I'm going between mute and not because I have people talking in the
Oh,
background.
shoot.
But first off, shout out to Ariel,
Oh,
a
shoot.
positive person in their own right, and
Yeah.
somebody that I have a lot of admiration and respect for. And by the way, guys, no BS. If you're looking for a sports masseuse, somebody who's going to help you heal and not just give you just a cushy-wishy massage, she's the person to go to.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, let me or Nana know and we will get you the details because she's
Absolutely.
phenomenal and she educates you too. Just so you know.
Absolutely.
And going back
Shout
to
out.
but going
Shout
back
out.
to feeling joy, taking care of your body in whatever way, so
Oh
often
my gosh.
we don't really take care of our body, mind. Massage therapist. Okay, my bad. Massage therapist. You know why? She actually educated this. She did
Yes.
tell me this. So masseuse has a connotation with benefits. But
Hey, yo, that Robert Kraft. Hey, yo.
for the listening audience, Ariel is a massage therapist.
Massage therapist.
Kerri is Nana's masseuse.
Do I get happy endings or we just go pretend that it don't?
Let's just be real. You get lots
Hey, yo.
and Kerri's just as happy to get them too. But
Nah.
anyway, total side that but seriously, I think to what Ariel said, people are just sitting down and like we're soaking in all of this information.
Yeah.
Rather than focusing on what we can control, what are the things we can control? Who we surround ourselves with, what information we're allowing going into our brain. Our brain's a supercomputer. It's a sponge. It's going to absorb what it is that we, put ourselves into. How we take care of ourselves, mind, body, and energy. How often we rest, those things. And then most important, and it bears mentioning because of the show, how much joy we have. Right now, you and I can honestly attest. We laugh all the time. Like you said,
easily.
The whole day.
I only do it to keep you in a loop. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Like, and I get it. I'm the type of person, like, if I see something funny, I'm going to just put it out there. So, like, it sometimes might be the most raunchy, but, like, it's just me just being me, Well,
no, but the thing is it doesn't matter. I was telling somebody the other day, you and I going to Walmart is like 5-year-olds going to Walmart. We're playing with the toys. We're trying on outfits that are really heinous. We're in the fitting room together, and employees are kind of like, this is sus. But we always have a good time wherever we go. And also in doing so, we cultivate that energy for others. I remember when I had a miscarriage, right? We were at the hospital and we had all the nurses come.
Oh my God. Bruh, that was fire. That was they were and they still remembered us like years later after we went back there. And they're like, yo, like, and this was like 2 years ago when we went back.
Like because we cultivate joy and that, and actually I just saw Rob joined. He jumped on. I don't know if he's on. talk about somebody who took advantage of the moment. Nana and I were creating
Content created.
We're just having a good old time. Rob happens to walk in, not knowing anything other than to say what up to his peeps. And we're like, yo, you should join. And he said yes. And so often we don't realize, but we literally reject the opportunities to have joy because we're so afraid of what people are going to think or how we're going to look or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, shout out to you. You jumped in and helped us make like one of the best ever. I love that video.
I mean, he was like this. He literally was like, it's funny because Rob was like, he's a little nervous, but I'm like, nah, bro, you got this. And then he locked in, and he knows that he hit his Taibo moves, and I was like, hey, yo. And it was funny as heck because like the concept was really what it was Goku versus Chun-Li. Yep. And then you get the Taibo expert basically pulls up and literally like we're on the ground pretending that we just got like beat in the whole workout, and he's like, they're supposed to be fighters. Like that was mad funny. That was a good line too. Like,
so good.
But it just shows that, like, I mean, and Rob is an upbeat person, anyways, naturally, right? So we gravitate towards people like that because that's just like, yo, like that's one of my peoples. Like if I see Rob, I know it's gonna be a great time. You know what I mean, or whatever it is. Like he just knows the shit. And then we went to his class, and that shit beat my ass for somebody that works out.
But real quick, Mr. Hollywood 508, okay, from the 508 says best couple. Yes.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, the best couple. I'm a little biased. Yeah. So I'll keep that real.
Shout out.
But you know what? Yeah. Rob, like myself, we cultivated that mindset, right? Like we both navigated addictions and cultural norms and transcended those to find what brought us joy. And now, you know, Rob is a role model within his community of what life can be like outside of alcohol and you know, outside of feeling like you have to operate a certain way because of your culture.
Yeah.
And so I have so much respect for him because he found that joy. He chased what felt good for him and leans into it and is confident in doing that. And then that gives him the ability to jump in and take advantage when you and me are acting like a fool. He's okay with jumping in and doing it with us.
Well, so this moment happened this morning, right? So I had been thinking, and this is totally off topic, but like I'd been thinking about doing a mashup cosplay, right? And that was supposed to be Goku and Saitama from One Punch Man, right? So I've been literally.
Good, babe.
Huh?
I knew.
What'd you say? Oh, the characters?
No, I knew it was One Punch Man.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. But like I had that idea has been in my head for probably like 2-3 weeks now, but I just hadn't executed it. And I was like in my head, I had an idea of like, okay, I want to wear the outfit. I want to put Goku's like upper body on, but then Saitama's lower body, but then Goku's wristbands, but Saitama's gloves. So incorporate all the character. So then one of my friends on Instagram just was shooting the shit, and he sent me a picture of him as Saitama because he's bald, which is even cooler. So he's dressed up as Saitama, somebody's dressed as Goku, and I was like, hey, I've been meaning to do that. And so like him showing me that or having that dialogue, I literally got out of my bed. I'm like, I need to go brush my teeth and do this, because if I don't do it now, I'm gonna keep prolonging it, thus being like, nah, it's just I'm gonna put on the back burner. I said, no, we're gonna figure this thing out. So I literally went brush my teeth and literally pulled out the stuff in the closet, and I said, yeah, we're gonna do this now, because I just gotta get out of my system, because if I don't, I'm gonna be like, damn, I should have done it. But that goes back to the encompassing ideology of like, sometimes we tend to like hold on to shit when you can just do it right then and there. You know what I mean? Like you can just, and that was the perfect example with Rob's situation. He at least took the opportunity. It was like, nah, I'm gonna just jump in this video with y'all, whatever it is. And it's just too many times I think we harbor on things where like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it today. And I'm like, bro, just do it whenever you can. Like you don't know what's in store for tomorrow. And another perfect example was like one of my friends, she's big into content creating. She's been like reaching out to me about like, oh, when should I drop videos, yada yada yada, like this thing. And I'm like, Go with your gut feeling. Don't even worry about the perception of what other people are gonna think about. Like if it's gonna hit, it's gonna hit, and if it's not gonna hit, it's not gonna hit. It is what it is. And sometimes really just the traction that you get. Like you know what I mean. Like you can put the most funniest caption in your thought process, but it won't appeal to others. Or you can put the most reckless thing that you think is like it's not gonna hit, and it becomes a hit. You know what I mean? Like it, you can't control that. That's just like the algorithm. It is what it is. Like people are gonna like it or not. You know what I mean? So I was like, dude, just do the shit that you want to enjoy and put out the shit that you want to enjoy. So like it was like really cool to see that. Oh, is that our daughter?
That is our daughter.
Oh
Julia.
shoot!
Why is our camera blurry?
I don't know because
Wait, let me see Jules. How's she doing?
Right here.
Yeah,
Are you feeling better?
oh,
Fine.
there you go.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh shit! No, I just got excited. That was really cool.
I know that's our baby. She's gonna
Yeah.
graduate this year.
That's crazy.
I know, and she got
That's
into
crazy.
3 nursing schools already. Anyway,
The wins. The
but wait,
win.
going
The
back
win.
to what you said, I love that you shared that information to your friend about trusting your gut. Just
Yeah.
before we came on, I was talking to Billy upstairs, and I don't exactly remember the context, but I said to her, the greatest gift we give ourselves is when we're misunderstood by everybody. And what I
Mm,
mean by that is,
mm.
so obviously I'm very spiritual, and we are co-creators with creation, but we're unique strains of consciousness. Like there's not 8 billion Kerri. There's one Kerri in all of that
Yep.
consciousness, right? And
Yep.
so my understanding and what feels good for me may have a completely adverse reaction for somebody else. It doesn't mean that I'm right and they're wrong. It just is what feels good for me. And I was encouraging Billy, the day that I don't understand your choice and you stand by that is a day that I'll be incredibly, like, I will know that you trust yourself more than anybody else. And as parents, I believe that that is our ultimate responsibility. It's not me conditioning our kids to believe what we believe.
No.
It's you and I teaching our kids to use their own mind to come to what feels right for them and feeling empowered enough to stand in
Yeah.
that truth, whether or not you and me understand it or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many times where, like, I feel like even when I was growing up, right, there was a lot of perception of how to do things. Like, oh, this is the right thing. This is not the like, this is the wrong thing to do. I.e., perfect example, drinking. That was not in my household. I didn't grow up with that. Like, my mom didn't drink, dad didn't drink, so I felt no need to. You know, who's to say it's good or bad? It's indifferent. I mean, it is what it is. It's however you look at it as, right? So I grew up with the idea of drinking is bad, but then I realized that like drinking is just nothing that never really appealed to me. And this is not to like, shoot shots at anybody else or whatever it is, but it's just one of those things where like I realized there was just more things that I could gravitate towards and alcohol and stuff like that too. But in the household, that was always perceived bad. I mean, another example is obviously haircut, right? So in the Ghanaian household, right, if you get a haircut and there's like a line or design or whatever, it was considered taboo or like a bad thing to do. And I'm like, it's just a haircut. Like, who comes
Wait,
up with these ideologies?
you said
Yes,
a line?
that like when people do like designs, like you know how you have your design in your hair.
I have in the back of my head.
Yeah,
right now.
that was like quote unquote like a taboo thing, and I'm like, it's just a form of art with your hair, like. But back in the day, like as a kid, that was considered like, oh, you're a bad kid because you're doing something rebellious. I guess that would be the word. So like, it was perceived in a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Which is still mind-boggling to me this day and age. So, certain little things like that, but those are old habits that some people literally die hard with. Shout out to Bruce Willis. But anyhow, and some people that don't. That was cheesy. I'm gonna stop. That was cheesy.
Well, the thing is we are all conditioned. Truthfully, we live in a limitless, expansive world. And so all beliefs and behaviors and habits are just conditions.
Yeah.
It's true. And that's why I'm a big fan of finding what brings you joy and leaning into that, because that will establish you and feeling empowered. And when you feel
Yeah.
empowered, you start to question kind of the old belief systems and the dogma that we have all kind of unwittingly subscribed to,
Yeah.
right? Like, to your point, you're from of Ghanaian descent, and there's certain cultural expectations, and as you got older, you started to challenge those norms because it didn't make sense to you. And the more you leaned into what felt right for you, the more confident you became in challenging more cultural norms. And that's another reason why I encourage people. One of the greatest gifts you can ever give yourself is surround yourself. And I read this the other day and I loved it. Actually, I saw it. Surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when you walk into the room.
Ooh. Ooh. Who said this?
It was some actor who won an award. He said there were 3 things: surround yourself with people whose eyes light up in the world, slow is whatever, and the top of one mountain is the bottom of another, so never stop striving. I love that too. But ultimately, and interestingly enough, I never told you, but last night I was at your house and you came in and I looked into your eyes and they lit up when you walked into the room. And I was like, I definitely surround myself with people whose eyes light up when I walk into a room.
Yeah.
And I'm unwilling to bend on that. I will not compromise, which means there are certain family members I have no desire to enter a room with anymore. It doesn't mean I don't love them. It doesn't mean I don't honor who they were for me at whatever time in my life they extended whatever it was they offered me. And yet we are meant for expansion. That means sometimes you expand out of even family members, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, I actually love the whole like light up the room thing, because I can definitely picture a couple people that like would fall in that category. You including, obviously. I mean, even seeing Jules pop up in the live, or Aziel's little adorable self just pop up, like, you know what I mean? Like, that stuff it's so essential, because I mean, a perfect example too, my friend Mel, who I haven't seen in probably like dang year, like probably a year. And she used to go to the gym with us all the time. Like, she was at our gym. So
Yeah,
like,
she's
that's how I know.
thick, right? Like she's
Come
really
again?
fit. She's really fit.
Yeah, like she was like she's a
Works
teacher.
with people. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
she's a teacher. She works with like students. But like, I
Yeah.
haven't seen her in like a year. So she just hit me up randomly, was like, yo, like, I might have totaled my car. Like, are you at the dealership? And I was like, yeah, I just happened to be here. So that's who came in. That's who came in. And then I was like, yeah, I'm here. And so her and her man came in. They drove the car. But like, when she came in, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. And I gave her like the biggest hug, because it's like, I don't know, it's just it's a friend of mine that I haven't seen in a while. And that's people that light up the room. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the type of person, like I always tell people, I get busy. So like, I might not be the type of person that hits you up every single day, but if I do reach out to you, it's best believe it's because you came to mind. And you know, it doesn't change the time frame that's passed by. It just makes it that much more worthwhile to like catch up with. So like, we're shooting the stuff, whatever, just be like, yo, how's everything with work, family, life? And she's in a good mental space, because there was a time frame that, she was going through some shit just in life. And I was like, I don't know how to be of service, because that's not my place, unless the other person wants to talk about it. But then, I mean, it was nice to see like the glow that people have when they're in a good mental space. And that's what some people just
Mm.
exude when they walk into the room. Like, I know with myself, if I'm on my like A game and I'm like locked in and I'm ready to go, I feel bad for who the fuck walks through the door. Like, you are not leaving here without buying a car from this lovely ass space right here. No, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the flow state, as you call it. Like, when you're like in your zone, people can see it. And it's the same thing as if you're on the opposite end of it. If you're like gloomy, just like, okay. Like, that doesn't make me excited to like say hi. I can say hi, but I just always know that I'm gonna keep my little distance. 'Cause I don't know. I don't need that energy dragging me down. Like Kobe Bryant said, there's people that really come in with a mentality of getting shit done. There's people that don't, and those are the people that do want to get shit done. The people that he gravitate towards, and it makes sense because he was achieving greatness with people that he wanted to achieve greatness with that were also in the same mindset. You know what I mean?
And that's the other thing is, before you jumped on, and I encourage the listening audience about this, right? You and I have very different goals in life, right?
Mm.
And yet we're both driven. So you can surround yourself with people who are driven to achieve their desires, but they don't have to be your desires. It's
Mm.
really it's a belief in oneself that I really seek. Like, I surround myself with people who believe in themselves, because when you believe in yourself, you're not trying to tear other people down. You're lifting
Correct.
them up along with you. When
Correct.
you don't believe in yourself, comparison creeps in,
Yep.
tearing other people creep in, because you're trying to seek external validation for what you lack within yourself, and you do that through projecting that energy onto others.
Mm.
And to
Mm.
your point about eyes, right? I see a lot of people with dead eyes who just exist in the
Mm.
world, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
one of the reasons, and you can attest, I will make sure I extend myself in loving kindness to anybody. I don't care if you're a homeless person on the street.
I've
I
seen
look
it.
eyes and honor you. I
Yeah.
don't care if you're a grouchy person. I really work to, if nothing else, impress upon a moment of nicety or genuine compassion, because I don't know what they're going through, but I know they're going through something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it happens so many times with like just like in general with life. When somebody even reaches out, like I had who was it? Like earlier this week, it's one of my friends, I won't say their name obviously, but they were just going through like a tough time because, you know, he's a big actually you're gonna laugh, babe. So him and I, we obviously our favorite artist is Juice World, first and foremost. But he's just been going through some life stuff, and so he's listening to Juice World. But it was therapeutic for him, and I was like, "That's fine, but just don't make sure you fall into that place of like sunken and like going through like guilt and stuff like that. Look at it as like, hey, live for him, like live through him, as in like, yeah, he was going through some stuff too, but there was moments where he showed that he can still get past that. And so like, I don't know, I think it was nice to just like talk to him about, just like going through the motions of life and understand that there's going to be a lot of moments that will be down moments, but there's also going to be a lot of moments that will be up moments. And that's with anything, like so many different facets of the world encompasses like a lot of ups and downs, whether you're thinking about just like how family is or job life or schooling, education, like there's gonna be ups and downs. And I just was like, bro, this might be just one of those things where it's just a reset. It's a regather your thoughts and just figure out who you are as a person.
Well, that's the thing. We're always given opportunities to experience contrast. And this is
Mm.
what I think a lot of people struggle to comprehend, that I
Yeah.
really work to educate them on, is
Yeah.
how do you know what you don't want unless you experience it? And how do you
Mm.
know what it is you really seek to enjoy, what brings you fulfillment, what encourages you, and what lights up your life, if you don't experience those things? And then we have this ebb and flow. And so, I work in obviously mental health and addiction recovery. And so I work with people who will start to build momentum, and then they'll have this seemingly hiccup and backslide. I'm like, you're not backsliding. That's the illusion. You're just gaining information from a different perspective, having had experiences being sober or changing the way you view things. And then
Yeah.
you fall into maybe an old pattern of thought process, but all that's doing is giving you contrast so that you can make a more informed choice, so that you can continue to discover yourself. Because until we cease to exist, we're constantly discovering ourselves. We never figure ourselves out. And so when you can give yourself the grace to be curious and
Yeah.
open to whatever, right now, skulls bring me joy. Who's to say in 20 years I don't like skulls anymore? I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. But it's just, right at one point in my life, I really enjoyed being around babies. Now, I mean, they're cute, but I don't need to
Oh,
have one.
oh, you're like, nah, I'll take my nephew and just call it a day.
Well, because I got to give them back.
Yeah. Hey, I get it because kids are not easy. They are not easy, and they're a beautiful thing when they are beautiful things, but then they also can be some moments that they have. That's how I'm looking at it. Moments that they have. We'll leave it like that. But no, what was I gonna say? No, because there's something I was gonna ask you, but I forget.
Why I'm
Oh,
amazing.
well,
It's just because of me. You know what I'm saying?
come again? What'd you
I thought
say?
you asked me why I was amazing, and I said, because I'm just me.
Oh yeah, and I mean, no, you are amazing. What you mean?
I
Like,
know. You are too.
no, I appreciate it. But yeah, no, like literally, like, there's been so much like, mm, I want to say moving parts is probably the best word of like with just like life in general right now with like just work to gym. Like even with my gym, I realized I haven't gotten back from like, I wouldn't say. I think I haven't toned down, I guess, the amount that I've gone to the gym, but I've become more efficient with my workouts. That's what I realized. That was something that I've been more encompassing. And I've been watching a lot of like just fitness stuff. So when I go to the gym, if I want to do something, I've actually been saving a lot of like gym clips. So then I'll do that workout just to kind of change it up because like when we work out, we train differently, depending on whatever it is. But I want to like mix up so my body's like not used to like certain things of that nature of workout. So I've been saving a lot of like fitness stuff, which I'm actually enjoying because it's challenging myself to go out of that comfort zone of the norm that I was used to.
Well, I mean, I think that's incredibly important. Part of joy, part of experiencing joy is the process of expansion, is pushing yourself outside the comfort zone and seeing and proving to yourself what you're capable of. And you know me, I love watching docudramas. So I happened to stumble upon this movie, Billy and I. We are in the 1930s, this 12-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid, whatever, he gets lost in a mountain up in Maine, and he was missing for 9 days. And they were interviewing all these people real time about it. And they're like, oh, no adult could ever make it, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, this kid survived. He didn't know any better. And the thing is we can overcome anything. It's when we teach ourselves that we can exist in discomfort, when we can do a new workout that we haven't tried, right? I do a lot of plyo with you and I do calisthenic movements. And when we push ourselves into doing a new business or doing a podcast or content creating or whatever it is, even though it's uncomfortable, it shows us that if we have the capacity to do that thing that's challenging, we have the capacity to do something else. And that's why I know that I'm resilient enough that if I'm faced with an unexpected situation, I may not know exactly how to navigate it, but I know that I have the resilience to take deep breaths and put one foot in front of the other until I move
Yeah,
myself out of it.
yeah. Which I mean, shout out to you for that because a lot of you know it takes a lot of mental solitude to be like, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to figure it out for myself. I'm going to get myself out of that place to just figure out what's next in life. But yeah, no, I definitely I'm grateful to have been able to get on here because I was like, yo, like I don't want to miss a podcast because
So
like,
are you cold?
huh?
Do you have the heater on? Are you cold?
Yeah, I got the heat on. I got the heat on.
Okay,
So
I
I'm
was
just really
thinking
just
about my baby. I'm like, oh, I'm not there to wrap my arms around you.
no, you get I appreciate you, babe. But no, like I literally just sit in the car. I got the heat blasting, and then I got this over here. But I just don't think I have it in me to head to the gym, which is okay. I'm gonna understand that today's just gonna be one of those rest up and then reset, and then just get ready for the weekend. But I'm actually craving Mexican food, so your boy might have to stop by that Mexican spot. Just throwing it out there and just
Do that.
get it out of my system.
Do you have any parting words for our listening audience?
Um, Dang, that's a good one. I think really, and I said this actually yesterday at the Day with the Experts event at the high school at Blackstone Valley. But basically, I said keep being authentic to yourself, and keep chasing the passions that you want. Because like I think too many times we're told, oh, don't chase that passion because it won't make you enough money or whatever
Yep.
it is. And then like to tell that to a group of young adolescents to be like, yo, chase your passions, not only for money, was intriguing to see people's reactions. Because like, you know, some of them were more corporate people that were like, oh, chase the money, money, money. But I'm like, no, chase the joy, chase the happiness, chase the like, because ultimately, if you find a job or a field that you aren't super excited about or thrilled about, what's the point of being there or being like not able to fully express yourself in that field? You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think being authentic and chasing your passion is something that I would rather leave with the audience for that being said.
It's so
What you got?
interesting because the first thing when you said be authentic, I really, a lot of people don't even know who they are to be authentic.
Mm,
So
mm,
I'm going to double on that and say, get curious about who you
yeah.
are. Don't assume you know yourself. Me and Nana
Mm,
are constantly learning ourselves. Nana doesn't assume that he knows what mood I'm going to be in from one
no,
day to the next,
no.
or and being okay with the unknown. You really start to learn just how amazing you are. So that's one thing. And
Yeah.
two, around this time, guys, you know, extend kindness first towards yourselves, but towards others, because we are all going through something. And I know it's so cliche to say, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't take a lot of effort to take a deep breath and not say something because you're in a rush, or to give somebody a smile just because when you do that, you do not know. No act of love is ever wasted. It is an energetic
Mm,
that extends out into the world, and it will always come back to you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Mic drop.
On that note, until next time, y'all, we will catch you on the flip side. And if you're
Thank you
looking for a
guys.
massage therapist, me and Nana know an amazing one.
Thank you. And until next
Bye.
time.